Hi, so this is the second of my 10-minute tutorials, 10-ish minutes, and today I wanted to talk about the Ujjayi breath, which is the basis of yogic breathing. There are lots of different breaths in yoga, but most of it comes from the Ujjayi breath start. And there's no better place to practice breathing than right by the sea. So I've come to Benaras, and I don't think you can see the sea from here, but I assure you it's just here. So when we're starting the Ujjayi breath, some people get a little bit confused with what this means exactly. So Ujjayi means victorious, and when we're breathing, we're using an area at the back of the throat to slightly catch the breath. And we're breathing into three parts of the lungs. So we breathe into the bottom, the middle, the top part of the lungs, and then we exhale from the bottom, the middle, the top. Yogic breathing, Ujjayi breath, is always in and out through the nose, and that way we get into contacting the parasympathetic nervous system. And this is the nervous system that actually helps us to be calm, that lowers the blood pressure, and allows the mind to be tranquil. So this kind of breath is really useful to do throughout your yoga practice, but also just before a meditation practice to really try to still the mind. So when we start with the breath, I'm just going to demonstrate a couple of things that we should be aware of. So it is a three-part breath. We breathe into the lowest parts of the lungs, we breathe into the midsection, and then we breathe into the top. So to do this, it's quite useful to work out where that is, and you can just bring your hands first underneath the rib cage around the belly. Some people call this belly breath, but my teacher always used to say your lungs are not your belly. So you're breathing into your lungs, but right into the lowest parts of the lungs. So you take a deep breath in, and as you inhale, you're going to try and breathe into this lower part of the lungs, and then exhale here. And then with your hands around your rib cage, we're going to inhale and exhale here, and you should feel the rib cage expanding as the diaphragm lifts and drops. So inhaling and exhaling. And you can also do that by bringing your hands towards your back, because of course we're breathing not into the front of the lungs, we're breathing into the back of the lungs as well. So inhale and exhale. And then the last part of the lungs we breathe into is right towards the top, so just underneath the clavicle, and you can just bring your thumbs in towards your armpits, fingers onto just underneath the clavicle around the breast tissue, and then inhale and exhale here. So this is the area that actually most of the time we breathe into. We only naturally use about 40% of our lung capacity, so sometimes it's just this upper part of the lungs. Ujjayi breath, we're using the full capacity of the lungs, okay? The other thing to work out is the sound of the breath. So I always describe it as if you're cleaning your glasses. So if I take my sunglasses off, if I'm cleaning my glasses, I'm going to make a sound with the back of my throat as I expel hot air onto the glasses. So it's a sound. And then clean my glasses. And then the same thing happens when you inhale. So it's a sharp sighing sound as you inhale. So just think of that sound as if you're sighing. So you'll feel there's a slight contraction at the back of the throat. As you inhale, you'll feel the air going past the back of the throat. And then exhale. So I'm just demonstrating that with my mouth open, because some people understand it better with their mouth open. But of course we're going to close the mouth and make the same sound, so you're making a sighing sound. And this also mirrors the sound of the ocean, so you can hear the ocean inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Okay, so I'll do this with my mouth closed and just using my nose, and we'll inhale and exhale. Okay, so to demonstrate all of that, we can go through the hand movements first, filling into the midsection, filling into the top of the chest, exhaling from the bottom, exhaling from the middle, exhaling from the top. And then we'll do a very low count of the breath, and I'll just demonstrate how we come into that. So we're going to inhale and exhale for the count of 5. First, we'll do this breath using the hand movements. Obviously, when you're doing your breathing, you don't need to use the hand movements all the time. This is just to demonstrate where we're breathing into. Okay, so hands just below the rib cage and inhale. And then exhale. Let me just do that one again. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so the idea of the Ujjayi breath is to slow the breath down, inhaling, and control how the breath comes out with your exhale. So it's a slow inhale and a slow exhale. And when you get a little bit more experience with this breath, you can start to bring in a hold of the breath. But for today, we're just going to inhale and exhale the same length. As I said, as you get a little bit more experience, you can inhale for a certain count and then exhale a little bit longer. So for now, we're just going to inhale and exhale to 5, and I'll demonstrate a few of those breaths, okay, without talking. So I suggest you do about 10 of those breaths as a good practice, and then move into a meditation practice. If you want to power up your breath a little bit more, then you can introduce this kumbhaka. Kumbhaka is the hold of the breath. And then when we do that one, we bring the chin in towards the chest, hold the breath, we release the chin and we exhale. And again, we're going to keep the ratio the same length this time. So we're going to inhale for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5. And I'm going to demonstrate 3 of those. So hopefully you can hear my breath as I'm sighing it in and out, and I'm controlling my breath. So it's not just an inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. It's inhale using the area at the back of the throat, holding the breath with the chin in towards the chest, releasing the chin, and then exhaling. We're just going to keep the same ratio today. So inhale to 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5. Okay, and already I can feel my heart rate has calmed down. So once you release your Ujjayi breath, your natural breath will already feel a little bit stronger, a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, so you'll feel more clarity in your breath. So I hope this helps you to get into a regular Ujjayi breath practice. And you can do this just before meditation, or you can do this just before your asana practice, where you start to get into using the breath to hold the poses, using the breath to transition through the poses. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.